Boy, am I finally excited to share with you guys my first impressions of Palworld. After seeing all the questions you guys posted on my current videos, I am super stoked because I can finally tell you guys how I feel about the game, what are my thoughts, what are the goods, what are the bads about the game. So if you're still on the fence trying to figure out if you should pick up this game, hopefully this video will help you make a correct decision. I would wish that I would have a review, but right now I am pretty far into the game and I haven't covered the game completely, like to like the end game. So it's very hard to make a review when I haven't finishly completed the whole game, but do expect the review coming very soon. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about Palworld. Now, we're trying to figure out when this game comes out. It comes out January the 19th on PC and Xbox Game Pass. And the great thing about the game, guys, is that you'll be able to purchase it for not such an expensive price as $29.99. So you're able to pick the game up for early access. So, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about it. So, what I gotta be honest, you guys, when I first heard about this game, I was a little bit skeptical due to the fact that you guys already know the big drama, the big concern with certain games that look really good, but when you get into the game and you play them, you're like, this is not what I thought it was gonna be. Where's this part? Where's this part? Where's that part? Luckily, guys, I gotta tell you, I am pleasantly surprised to report and let you guys know that this is actually a very good game. Now, of course, there are some things that I want fixed, but we're gonna talk about those later. But let's talk a little bit about the positives. So when I first got into the game, I didn't realize how massive the world is. Okay, after seeing a couple game trailers, there is a lot of you see like a lot of enemy diversity, and you think like they're kind of like scattered like in the same vicinity. It is a massive world, guys. It is extremely huge. It is so massive. You actually need certain pals to navigate the game because it's just a really big open world. Okay, you could basically go anywhere you want. You could set up your base anywhere you want. There are certain areas where there are multiple amount of pals where there's a vast land, but you got to clear it out before you actually get there. Another great thing that I found about the game is I gotta give a big high five to whoever decided to make the tutorial because the tutorial is very well done. It's so well done that you feel like they're kind of holding your hand so you can get the hang of the game. They hold your hand all the way to your first boss fight. And the great thing about this is that it actually lets you know how to play the game. Usually sometimes you get into a game and when you're doing the tutorial, you're like they'll tell you, okay, this is how you collect rocks, this is how you collect the trees, this is how you do the farm, and then it's like it's over, right? There is no more progression as to this is what you do next, this is how you could implement this for your character, this is how you can make your character better. I'm glad, and a big high five to whoever made the tutorial. Very well explained, very well detailed, and it does help you kind of get a grasp about the game if you've never played a crafting game. So really positive on that one. I do like the fact that there is melee in the game. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So you're able to melee trees, and basically that's how you start off with, right? So you got to go hit up a tree, get some wood, get some rocks, and start building your base off from scratch. So the first thing when I start playing the game, I come from playing other games that are build based as well. Where there are survival games. I do like the fact that this particular game gives you a bit of a time to get used to the whole building before there is any sort of like enemy engagement. Now, it is kind of crazy because I didn't expect the enemy engagement to happen, but it actually happens. So, as you're building your base, and that's what you're probably going to want to make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, because you're definitely going to want to watch my beginner's tip guide, because that's going to help you like start on the right track when you pick up the game. But with that being said, there comes a point in the game where you're building the stuff, you're farming, you're getting your pals so they could go ahead and create food for you. You got your pals so they could create weapons for you. And all of a sudden you get this big warning, right? Warning. And if you guys saw my video that I did yesterday, you guys were talking about my warning sound. Yo, you get the warning here too, bro. You get the warning here too. It's like warning, you're getting invaded. And I didn't really know what the heck was going on. I was like, invaded from where? But these red icons pop up on the screen and it shows you that enemies are invading you and you got to prepare. So the pals that you have in your base, they kind of like they start panicking, right? They're like we're farming, we're building, like what the heck do we do now? We got these enemies invading. So it's like they throw everything that they have within their, what they're holding, and they go out and brawl and fight and try to, protect the base. I thought that was a really cool moment in a game. I think you guys are gonna think it's a really cool moment too whenever you guys get a chance to play it. So that was really cool. One thing I would like to see though is I definitely would like them to have this happen a little bit more frequent. I feel like as I progressed throughout the game, it was happening, but it was happening at a very slow pace. I don't know if it's because of this, where my base was at, and I haven't moved my base since the beginning. But I wonder if you move your base a little bit further out, you'd probably get these happening more often, right? But I think in the beginning, it's a good timing of when it happens. But I would like to see this occurring a little bit more often to give your base a little bit more like priority where you got to kind of protect it. Now, for those of you wondering if there's character customization, yes, there is character customization. This is something that I thought wasn't going to be in the game, and I did put up a video for you guys to check it out so you guys know exactly what options you have. Now, the one thing about this is that once you build your character, you're kind of locked with your character, so you're going to make sure you build them correctly. So definitely check out that video to get an idea of how you're going to build your character. Now, the great thing I felt about the game, I like the pacing. I like the fact that the game gives you the advantage of being able to learn as you're progressing through the game, kind of like, immersing yourself in the world. And it doesn't give you like these super OP weapons where you could pretty much go and decimate anything that, comes your way. So the great thing about it is like wherever you build your base, you're gonna have regular pals like a level 1. You're gonna have pals that are level 2. You're gonna have a pal that's walking around that's level 33. You're gonna have a pal that's walking around that's level 21. If you choose to engage or shoot them, then they react and they just stomp you, right? They just stomp the heck out of you because you're not fully leveled up. So I like the fact that you're able to, as you're in the world, you're able to see what you're able to conquer once you get more powerful. Now, speaking about getting more powerful, guys, there are a large variety of weapons. So you theoretically start kind of like with a melee weapon, then you work yourself up to a bow, and then from a bow you work yourself up to a gun, then you work yourself up to a pistol, then you work yourself up to an AR. I do like the fact that you are not kind of given like these super OP weapons right off the bat, and you're like, let's go. Now, I do like the fact as well that your pals evolve as you evolve. So the thing that what I mean about this is as you're playing the game, the pals will be leveling up as you go. And when you fight enemies, you want to have a really decent pal to be able to take out a very powerful enemy. For some reason, you decide to go and venture there and take on a pal and you're under level, your pal's going to get destroyed and it's pretty much going to get decimated. Now, there are two ways to approach this. You can either approach this with pretty much if you launch your pal and he dies, you pretty much lose him forever, or you do have the advantage of maintaining your pal, and I'll have that in my beginner's guide so you guys know exactly what you want to do or things I wish you knew sooner guide so you guys know exactly what to do whenever your pal ends up dying. Now, the great thing I felt about the game at the early stages, I felt the fact that you are kind of you get like kind of lost in the world, not in a bad way, but in a good way. You get lost in the world in the sense that you are like, I want to go loot, I want to go look for stuff, but you're so worried about your pals that you want to take care of them and you don't want them to die, right? So you want to make sure they're fed. You want to make sure that that they're not getting tired. You want to make sure that they're up to par because you kind of like build this bond with them, right? So I think that's a very good way of the way they did the game. And this is not a review, so it's kind of just like a first impressions, the first things that happened for the first couple 20 hours that I played the game. But I think overall, you guys are going to be pleasantly surprised whenever you pick up the game. I think the game is in a really good state in the sense of early access. I do want to see a lot more stuff added to it. Like, for example, one thing that I really wish they had, I wish they had a way to mark positions or mark locations. I think that would be very good because there are certain dungeons you find throughout the world and you're kind of having to figure out where was that dungeon, or sometimes you see a chest that has a key for you to open it and you don't have the key when you start, but you get the key and then you're like, where was that chest at? So that there's certain things that I do wish the game would improve just a little bit, and hopefully the PvP I think is going to be a very fundamental thing in this game because I feel like what's going to happen is a lot of people are going to play the game for like at least 40, 60, 70 hours, depending on how fast they level up, which I'll have a level up guide here. And then, you're going to be like, okay, what do I need to do next, right? So I think that PvP aspect is going to be crucial for them to get it out. I would say as quickly as they possibly can, maybe like two or 1 or 3 months into the game. I think that's going to be a very fundamental thing to do, especially if you're going to be playing with more people. It's going to make the game just a little bit more easier. Now, I don't know if my perception is going to change once I get into like the higher tier levels, right? But as of right now, that is where I'm at right now as far as the game. But let me know if you guys are excited for the Palworld. If you are, do me a huge favor, guys. Drop a comment, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on all your notifications so you guys won't miss when our videos go live. We're probably streaming live right now here on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Make sure you guys stop by and hang out. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one.